Have you ever felt like life is slipping out of your hands, no matter how hard you try to hold on? Like you're constantly wrestling with worry, trying to plan for every outcome, yet peace seems to stay just out of reach? What if the secret to real freedom wasn't about gaining more control, but about letting go? Today, I'm about to share 7 timeless Buddhist lessons that can completely rewire the way you think about anxiety, control, and happiness. But this isn't just ancient wisdom. This is about how real people across America and Europe have found freedom by releasing the need to micromanage life, and how you can too. Stick with me, because by the end, you'll see why surrender isn't giving up. It's the bravest thing you can do. 1. Fear is a seed. What you water grows. Buddhist philosophy teaches that our inner state shapes our world. Fear, unchecked, becomes the lens through which we see everything. If you've ever been anxious about losing your job, you know how it can poison your actions. You second-guess yourself, hesitate to speak up, or even sabotage your own opportunities. The irony? The more you fear something, the more you unconsciously bring it about. But let's pause the philosophy. Take Sarah, a graphic designer in Chicago. She spent years worrying about being fired during tech layoffs. The more she worried, the more she withdrew at work, skipping team lunches, staying quiet in meetings. Eventually, her boss called her out, not for poor performance, but for seeming disengaged. It was a wake-up call. Sarah's fear of being excluded was causing her to exclude herself. It's a lesson echoed everywhere. What you nurture inside becomes what you experience outside. Buddhist wisdom says, you're the gardener, Will. You plant seeds of fear or of peace. 2. Real strength comes from surrender, not control. We live in a culture that idolizes Control-Every app. Every self-help book promises more power over your time, body, and future. But Buddhist wisdom turns this idea upside down. Real strength is the courage to surrender, not to give up, but to give space. Think of Viktor Frankl, the renowned Austrian psychiatrist who survived Nazi concentration camps. He lost control of everything, but never surrendered his ability to choose his response. He wrote, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." Similarly, surrender doesn't mean passivity. It means you do your part, then step back and trust. Picture trying to cup water in your hand. The tighter you grip, the more you lose. Open your palm, and the water rests peacefully. That's true power, the confidence to know you've done your best, and now life will meet you halfway. 3. Worry belongs to tomorrow. Peace belongs to the present. Anxiety is an endless movie reel about what might go wrong. How many of us in the US lose sleep obsessing over things that haven't even happened? According to the Anxiety and Depression Association of America, over 40 million Americans struggle with anxiety each year, often about things beyond their control. The Buddhist solution is mindfulness. Come home to the present moment. A friend of mine in Berlin, Jonas, faced a brutal divorce. Every night, his mind replayed what-ifs and worst-case scenarios. A therapist challenged him, "Are you suffering right now, or are you suffering in your imagination?" That question shifted everything. When Jonas learned to focus on his breath, his surroundings, the warmth of his coffee, his anxiety loosened its grip. It wasn't magic, but it was medicine. The present is always safer than the stories our minds invent. 4. The weight of imagined fears is heavier than reality. So much of our stress is about things that never actually happen. Buddhist teachings remind us that our mind is a novelist, constantly spinning disaster scenarios. Take the story of Lisa, a Londoner who dreaded an annual performance review. She spent weeks anxious, convinced she'd be demoted. The day finally came and her manager praised her work, even offered a promotion. All that pain, it was only ever in her mind. How many sleepless nights have you spent worrying about things that, in reality, turned out just funny or never happened at all? Next time you feel overwhelmed, pause and ask, is this a real problem or an imagined one? Real freedom begins when we stop living in future what-ifs and return to the present. 5. Control blocks faith. This is a tough pill to swallow for many Americans raised on the value of taking charge. But Buddhist wisdom and modern psychology both agree. The more we try to micromanage, the more we suffocate joy. Faith, here, isn't just religious. It's a deep trust in the unfolding of life. Consider how many European countries manage stress. In Denmark and the Netherlands, there's a cultural norm called hygge or gezelligheid, a trust that life, if given space, will bring its own forms of comfort and belonging. I used to manage a team in New York, obsessed with outcomes. The more I tried to control every detail, the more mistakes happened. It was only when I learned to delegate, to trust my colleagues, that the magic started. Team members brought new ideas, solved problems I never saw. Control created pressure. Trust created possibility. 6. Letting go is how you start to grow. Anxiety doesn't protect you, it restricts you. Think of how many times you've talked yourself out of pursuing a dream, or downplayed your own worth, just to stay safe. In France, I met a young artist, Emile, who spent years painting in secret, terrified of criticism. Finally, he released his first collection at a Paris Café Somme. People loved it, some didn't, but he felt alive for the first time in years. Letting go isn't weakness, it's bravery. The courage to show up, to risk, to be seen. The more you let go of needing to control every outcome, the more space you create for creativity, for love, and for real connection. 7. Life flows when you step aside. There's a paradox at the heart of all Buddhist teachings. The less you interfere, the more life supports you. Americans are trained to believe, if it's to be, it's up to me. But what if that's not the whole truth? Think of all the times you forced a relationship, a job, or a decision, only to have it fall apart. Now think about the moments when you finally surrendered, and everything fell into place. An unexpected opportunity, a new friendship, a burst of inspiration. In Finland, many people trust in sisu, a kind of stoic perseverance that balances effort with trust in the process. Surrender isn't about quitting, it's about moving with the current, not against it. When you stop resisting, solutions appear. The right people show up, the right doors open. Let's talk about Mark, a small business owner in Ohio. During the pandemic, he lost half his clients overnight. His first instinct was to panic, micromanage, and overwork. But his wife, who practiced meditation, encouraged him to pause, breathe, and trust that new paths would emerge. Mark started offering free online workshops within 6 months. His business had not only survived, but expanded. His story isn't just about business. It's about letting go of the illusion of control and trusting that life can still surprise you in the best ways. In Sweden, there's a concept called lagom. Not too much, not too little, just right. After a personal burnout, Sophia, a nurse, realized she couldn't fix everything. She learned to delegate at work, accept help, and most importantly, to rest. Her health and relationships improved dramatically. She says, "I finally stopped fighting life and let it flow. I found peace in not having all the answers." I've seen countless people, myself included, burn out trying to control outcomes, only to realize that peace comes not from perfect management, but from mindful surrender. This isn't just philosophy, it's practical wisdom that shows up in the day-to-day realities of American and European life. So what's the big takeaway? Life isn't a problem to solve, but a dance to join. The more you try to force the rhythm, the more you trip over your own feet. But when you pause, breathe, and trust the flow, you begin to notice something amazing. Life isn't working against you, it's working with you. Letting go isn't about passivity, it's about participating with openness, curiosity, and trust. Buddhist wisdom doesn't ask you to be passive or stop caring. It asks you to let go of burdens that were never really yours, to carry the imagined fears, the need for control, the obsession with certainty. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to carry the world on your shoulders. Surrender a little, trust a little, let life meet you halfway. And when you do, you'll discover that real freedom isn't about controlling everything. It's about showing up, open-hearted, and letting life unfold. If this message resonated with you, give this video a thumbs up. It helps more people discover this wisdom. Subscribe for more practical insights inspired by Buddhist teachings and real-life stories from around the world. And drop a comment below. What's one area of your life where you're ready to loosen your grip and trust a little more? I can't wait to hear your thoughts. Until next time, breathe deep, trust more, and walk gently with life.